the duel of the Iron Max spit and leave you half split. You'll be missing much more than a fraction when it's time for action.
Wow, 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 wow. That's all I have to say about what I just saw in Colorado versus TCU. Uh, is it crazy to say game of the year? I don't think so. Probably one of the best, most entertaining college football games I've ever seen in my life. And it didn't even have, a game-winning touchdown at the end, but the things leading up to this game and the things that took place in the game had me possibly more mesmerized than I've ever been before while watching a college football game. Let's get right into it. This video is about the game, more about Colorado, but what a game. What a goddamn game this was. Plays made by both teams, back and forth, back and forth. Neither team had a big lead at any point. Colorado took the lead early. You saw TCU went scoreless in the first quarter. Colorado made some very big stands. And let me just the theme of this video. Well, the theme of this video. The theme why TCU lost this game, I would just say it's turnovers. Colorado protected the football. TCU never really started off with great field position except on that one great kick return. And Colorado protected the football. Shedeur Sanders, I have no problem saying, is in the lead for the Heisman conversation. I don't care what anybody else does this weekend. Shedeur Sanders is the Heisman. It's week 1. It's the first Saturday of the season. But Shedeur Sanders has to be leading everybody's Heisman list. No arguments, no debate. Because he was 38 for 47 in his first Division I game against a bad defense. Okay, let me get to that actually in a second. 38 for 47. He had a touchdown, a long touchdown drop by Travis Hunter. It hit him in all 10 fingers. Travis Hunter couldn't pull it in. Easy touchdown. He had another deep ball drop by Weaver, I believe, 40-plus yards. So you could easily say Shedeur Sanders should have went 40 for 47, close to 600 yards, and 5 touchdowns. Shedeur Sanders played one of the best games I've ever seen in my life on any level from a quarterback. He was outstanding. Do I just break it? Let's just compare level by level here from the box score. Chandler Morris, TCU fans were angry. They were angry with Chandler Morris, but honestly, considering the circumstances, I think he played good. I think he threw one bad pick. He threw a bad pick in the end zone that you could certainly say cost him the game in hindsight to JT Woods, or maybe not JT, which is Woods of the Colorado picked off Chandler Morris in the end zone. Didn't see him. Horrible pick. Travis Hunter got a pick in the end zone not in the end zone, but in the red zone. That Joel Klatt talked about it. If you were watching live, you'd completely understand. That was not Chandler Morris's fault. Joel Klatt said he would have thrown that pass 100 out of 100 times. Travis Hunter just made an amazing pick. Okay, so I'm not going to hold that against Chandler Morris. He missed several throws. Several throws. I don't think he played horrible. I think he had a good game. You'd like to have a couple plays back, certainly. But if you put up 42 points, because it's not like TCU's defense scored. Special teams had one good return. They didn't score. Chandler Morris put up 42 points. Led his offense to 42 points. How can you look at that and say he played awful? They beat 90% of the teams in the country with how they played offensively. But it wasn't enough because Shedeur Sanders and Colorado were just like that. Taking a look at the running side of that, the running aspect of the game, Colorado missing their starting running back. Transfer from Houston, I believe, not playing this game. They were running with Wilkerson, Dylan Edwards. We'll get to Dylan Edwards in a second. Wilkerson did his job, transfer from Jackson State. He was a 1,000-yard rusher last season. Colorado did not run the ball because they couldn't really run the ball effectively. But man, let's just get into Dylan Edwards. 4 touchdowns, 159 total yards of offense in just 11 touches. He took a screen to the house. He scored twice in the red zone just coming out of the backfield. TCU's defense, guys, it was awful. It was awful. They were blowing coverages left and right. They couldn't get pressure on Shedeur Sanders uh, when they needed to. Shedeur was just making play after play. The first drive or two, TCU was just letting Colorado get everything outside the hashes. Everything to the sideline, Colorado was just dinking and dunking easy touchdowns early in the game. TCU, yeah, it was bad. The second half, they gave up 4 touchdowns. I mean, with that being said, Dylan Edwards made play after play after play, 4 touchdowns for Dylan Edwards. TCU, on the other hand, we knew Colorado, the lines of scrimmage, both sides of the ball, they were going to be outmatched here, and they were. TCU ran it down Colorado's throats. Imani Bailey, what a game. What a game. 164 yards, 74-yard run. Keep it. They had a 98-yard drive, I believe. Imani Bailey broke off a 74-yard run from, I think, TCU's 3. Okay? So, yeah, it was. He had a good game. Trey Sanders, transfer for Alabama, dealt with injuries and other things his whole career. 3 touchdowns today. You love to see that. So, I mean, just look at the comparisons there. They had 207 more rushing yards than Colorado, and you lose the game. That's very rare that you see something like that. But Imani Bailey, keep an eye on him. Possibly the next Kendre Miller. I really like that duo though of Imani Bailey and Trey Sanders. They played very well today. Chandler Morris also made a lot of plays with his legs. So 3 total touchdowns for him, over 300 yards of offense. Yeah, I don't know how you could hate on Chandler Morris. Really only one big mistake with the interception to Woods. Comparing the receiving corps, Colorado had 400-yard receivers. And it's exactly who you'd expect, maybe with the exception of Dylan Edwards, who just came out of nowhere. Travis Hunter played 129 snaps, guys. For everybody listening, I want you to look me in my eyes here. He played 129 snaps in over 100-degree weather in Texas, and he wasn't even tired afterwards. This guy's a generational talent. And he dropped a couple. I already mentioned he dropped a touchdown from Shedeur Sanders. Easily could have had 12 for 150 and a touchdown. He had another one that he didn't drop it, but it was a pass interference in the end zone. It was later ruled. It was ruled a touchdown at first. They overturned it. So easily could have been a 13 catch, 160-yard game with 2 touchdowns for Travis Hunter. Travis Hunter, guys, and look at me in the eyes again when I say he could be all conference on both sides of the ball. This guy is scary good. Let's talk about the 2 USF transfers from Colorado. Xavier Weaver, Jimmy Horn, both do different things, built differently. I love that combination. Xavier Weaver was making plays downfield all day long, 118 yards. And Jimmy Horn, he dropped one pass, I remember. But man, play after play after play, first down. I want to see how many first downs he had. He must have had like 6, maybe even 7 first downs for Jimmy Horn. A great game for him, including a touchdown on just a Shedeur Sanders got outside the pocket. Jimmy Horn adjusted his route, went to the corner, wide open. You'd love to see that. I absolutely loved Colorado because the Stars got it done. This game, it was Colorado Stars against TCU's, I guess you could say, lack of stars, and Colorado came out on top. Taking a look at TCU, they had a lot of all these guys you see right here. J.P. Richardson, Dylan Wright, Jack Betch are all transfers. JoJo Earl. Nobody. Savion Williams was supposed to be the guy. He had a really disappointing day. Jared Wiley had a good game. J.P. Richardson, I expect these 2 guys to kind of be, the primary receiving threats for TCU this season. But yeah, I would overall say the guys that needed to step up for TCU did not. Obviously, Chandler Morris missed a couple throws, but yeah. Talking about the defense though, guys, there was let me just go to the team stats here. By the way, fucking Shedeur Sanders broke the Colorado passing record in his first game. Just by the way, let's look at this. Third downs, a lot of third downs for each team. Colorado was slightly more efficient. There was 1,106 yards. 1,106 yards of total offense this game, guys. This game came down to a few plays. Travis Hunter's interception was huge, even though Colorado did not end up scoring that play, I believe, or the possession afterwards. Huge stop there. And Colorado, they ended the game. Colorado won this game on defense. 3rd and long, stopped them. 4th and long, stopped them. And I don't think they got pressure all days. I don't know if they sacked Colorado. TCU's offensive line dominated Colorado's defensive line. The run game, and in pass protection. But who would have thought? This is so interesting to me. Take a look at this right here. Penalties. The defending, well, let me say, the number 2 team in the country last year played in the national championship at home was more penalized than a team of all transfer players. Isn't that amazing? Isn't it incredible what good coaching can do? And that's not to say TCU is very well coached. Sonny Dykes, amazing coach. But Colorado's coaching staff is arguably the best in the country. And these 6 penalties on the road in a hostile environment while never playing a game together before, that speaks volumes. It really does. 2 fumbles lost also for TCU. I didn't even know that. And never mind, I was looking at the wrong way. 1 for Colorado, 2 turnovers for TCU. That's okay. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. So, man, Colorado dominate. This is incredible. Keep in mind, I already told you, TCU ran for 200 more yards than Colorado. Colorado dominating time of possession. This was an incredible game, guys. One of the best I've ever watched. And let's just take a look at Colorado again. I don't want this to be a 30-minute video, but going back to my Colorado team spotlight, I just want to kind of look over this a little bit. Let's look. What is it? Key players offensively. Yeah, Shedeur Sanders is him. They were missing Alton McCaskill. He did not play this game. Possibly playing next week. Kavosiey Smoke. I don't know what happened with him. He was not out there. Did not touch the ball this game. Man. Yeah, the 3 guys, the 3 receivers I have listed here, all had 100 yards here. Jimmy Horn, Xavier Weaver, and Travis Hunter. Shedeur Sanders, amazing, incredible. One of the, without a doubt, the best debut I've ever seen, ever, from any quarterback, and just certainly one of the best performances I've ever witnessed live. Defensively, the front 7 did not do much at all. But take a look here. Shiloh Sanders led the game in tackles, had 10, I believe. Travis Hunter, massive pick, another couple passes. He had a couple, I think it was before the half, where they targeted him back to back in the corner of the end zone, and he broke both of them up. Both of them. So just so many plays by Travis Hunter made this game. I mean, if you're out there for 129 snaps, you're bound to make a couple, right? And then Trevor Woods with a big interception as well. Man. Look, let's read these what I had here. Worst case scenario, Colorado gets embarrassed by TCU week 1. Nope. Most likely, close game versus TCU. Well, it was that. Best case, I didn't even have that listed as best case. Let's go back to my predictions, right? Because I went out on a limb. I gave Colorado a lot more credit than a lot of other sources were giving them. I had them going 7-6. Guys, let's think about this for a second. They beat TCU, put up 4. It is very fair to say that Colorado will and should be one of the best offenses in the country. Matter of fact, let's take a quick second here before I even get into the rest of Colorado to talk about TCU. I think it is very clear that they were overrated by me as well. I had TCU. I did not think they were that high. Let me actually tell y'all exactly where I had TCU ranked. Give me 1 second, please. I don't know if they were 17th. 17th in the country was TCU. I had them 18th. Okay. So it is very fair to say that they were overrated. I gave them way too much credit because I made a video. I made a video talking about TCU. I talked about all the players they lost. Guys, they lost their best player at every level. Quarterback, running back, multiple running backs, top 3 receivers, best offensive lineman, best pass rusher, best linebacker, best DB, offensive coordinator. They lost all that, but I was blind, guys. I was thinking too heavily about last season. I overlooked all their flaws, and they showed today. TCU should not be a ranked team. They have a tough road ahead of them. Okay, I think it's going to be a really rough season if their defense does not improve significantly. It's been several games. I think it's been 4 games in a row. Kansas State, Michigan, Georgia, Colorado, where they can't stop anybody. They cannot stop anybody, guys. Yeah, it's 4 games in a row. They're 2-2 in those games, but man, they have to dig deep to improve themselves defensively because it's bad. But, still give them credit. They fought hard. I think their run game should be exciting. Quarterback Chandler Morris, we'll see how he bounces back from a good game, but obviously made some mistakes in there. But back to Colorado. There is absolute. I made this prediction on the assumption that they would lose to TCU. After what they just showed me today, there is no reason on earth that they should not beat Nebraska at home, I believe, and then beat Colorado State. Nebraska, if you don't know, looked awful on Thursday. Jeff Sims 300%. I don't think they can throw the ball. I don't think Nebraska can throw the ball. And they're going to play Colorado week 2. I think it's going to be a blowout. I had this being a close game. Nebraska, there's no way in hell. There is no way in hell Nebraska gets to 27. I'm going to have this. I'm not going to change my predictions. These are what they are. But I think Colorado's going to blow out Nebraska, blow the doors off Colorado State. I think Colorado deserves to be ranked. Whether or not we may have had TCU overrated, Colorado beat number 17 on the road. Rank Colorado. They deserve it. And if they're not ranked after this week, after they blow out Nebraska and Colorado State, you have to rank. You just have to. Because then week 4, Oregon is going to be a massive game. I cannot wait for that. And then guess what? The week after that, they get USC at home. I am very confident at this point in time that they will beat one of these two teams. I don't know who. I'm not willing to predict. Oregon just dropped a goddamn 100 on Portland State. But I do think I feel a lot more confident in them beating USC than Oregon. I'll say that. I will say that right now. With that being said, after what they just showed me today, I feel very confident that Colorado could win 9 games this season. Think about that. From 1 win to 9 in one season. That would be one of the greatest coaching jobs in the history of football. Obviously, I have a bowl game included in there that could not go their way, of course, but I'm impressed. Impressed beyond belief. And even if they don't beat an Oregon or a USC, they could easily beat a Washington State or an Oregon State this season. So, Colorado is one of the most interesting teams in football. I have been paying such close attention to all the interviews with Deion and all the transfer stuff, and maybe just a random fan. If you're a Vanderbilt fan or you're an Indiana fan, maybe this game didn't mean much to you or whatever. It's just a cool thing to look at and see the stats for it. But if you've been following Colorado, like I watched the goddamn Colorado team interview with Deion in a bar last night about this game. It was so incredible to watch all the things Deion's been talking about come to fruition. Who would have thought, guys? He sat on Joel Klatt's podcast a couple months ago and said they were going to go in and be ready and beat TCU week 1, and nobody believed him. They all thought he was crazy. All the haters, the receipts have been kept on all the people who said Colorado was going 3-9 this season. I'm not going to pull them up yet because they haven't, it's week 1. They pulled off a massive ranked win, but man, Colorado, without a doubt, one of the most interesting teams in college football, and I'm just so glad I was able to watch that live. Thanks for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, leave a like, subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you next time. Peace.
It's out the motherfucking pack. Right out the niggas don't know how to act.